Hey guys, Jim Roese here from Sound Pro Live, www.rpmdynamics.com. Today we've got something really interesting for you. This one I'm actually personally vested into liking myself. I do a lot of gadget things, as you can see, over the time that we've been doing things in my Gadget Guy columns over Sound Pro Live. This one here I've been waiting for a while, and it's finally up and running. There's three things we're going to be showing you today. The first, which this whole system today is versed around, I guess you'd say, is Waves Multirack. What we have running on the computer here is we have Waves Multirack 9, which is their new 64-bit version. And a little while ago we told you we were going to try to show you some videos of trying to run Waves plugins on a Midas console. And doing that over AES-50 to get the communication back and forth. Figured, hey, why not give it a shot? And one of the things we ran into is in the earlier versions of Multirack, running 32-bit, the latency was too much to try to get the plugin count up because of the processing needs. They came out just a little while ago with 9, and Waves was nice enough to send us some over at RPM Dynamics and Sound Pro Live, give us some versions of this to do some beta testing with, and then to do some testing now that it's out to see what we could do. And it's been great. What we've got going on here is we've got Multirack running, and it's running on a computer that you probably can't see here. And that's because the second thing we're going to show you is we have, if you've seen some of the record solutions I've been doing for Midas, I showed you a Thunderbolt solution we had out before it was out to the public. And this is another one of the boxes by Sonnet. It's this little box right here. It's called their X-Rack Mini Server. And what this box is a single rack space unit that houses a Mac Mini. And in doing it through Thunderbolt, it gives you 2 PCIe slots to run off the Mac Mini inside of a 1 rack space unit. So I have a Mac Mini server inside of here. And what we're doing is we're using this card, this box, with the third thing that we're going to be talking about today, which is something that we've talked to you about before, and that's the Lynx AES-16E50 card. Well, up until now we've shown you record solutions, and you've noticed in my videos, and those of you that use them are aware of them, that there's always been an issue with the Lynx cards with communication in the handshake. That sometimes they worked at startup, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes there was noise across all the channels, sometimes there wasn't, and it was very sporadic when it would do it. But once you got past that handshake, the cards have always been stable and worked. But it was something that would keep you from using these cards with, say, a turnkey operation for A2s and A3s for an audio company, or interns at a house of worship, or things like that. And over the last couple months, I've been spending a lot of time working with Lynx on different beta firmwares and beating up the ones they give me, and finding them more problems and places to look for it. And thanks to the folks at Midas, gave them a Pro 1 to give to bring to their shop, so that they actually had a console on site to work with, and they weren't just remoting into my shop and things like that. But from that, they've done a couple of revisions in software, and now in version 12.8 of the Lynx firmware for the AES-16E50 card, the cards so far in all the testing we've done have been bulletproof. That firmware will be out to the public relatively quickly here, but right now all of the issues that you've experienced in the past with the Lynx cards are gone, and now there's a cost-effective way to do AES-50 communication off of a Midas console directly into your computer, whether it be via a Sonnet or a Magma Thunderbolt box, or whether it be over a slot inside of your Mac Pro. There's a way to do it now, and that's stable and turnkey, and you don't have to worry anymore. Using these hardware devices, we've got this plug-in rack running, and it's pretty amazing. What we've got going on right now is into my Pro 6. I'm taking an iPod, and I'm sending my left channel of the iPod to channels 1 and 2, and then I'm sending an insert out of channel 1 into 15 racks inside of the Waves Multirack. These 15 racks are returning into all the other channels you can see being fed on the Pro 6 here. So I have 15 channels running. What I did is I just loaded up with just arbitrary, some high processing power, some not quite so the same, but I loaded up a bunch of plugins inside of my Waves rack here, so that you can see that I've got 15 instances of it running here. And and in doing this, there's something I wanted to show you guys. This is something we couldn't do before, which is pretty amazing. I have Smart running here, and what I've got going on in Smart is I've got my left channel feeding the left output of the console, and my right feeding the right. You can see in the Smart how if I kill my left or right, it's doing that. And what I've got now is as you can see, I've got the inserts off on channels 1 and 2. And with all of these racks running, what we'll do is, just to give you a quick example here, we're going to take on the computer and we're going to do a quick measurement for latency. Okay, as you can see, it's 0. And that makes total sense because what's happening right now is left and right are both being fed the same signal. So now if we turn on our insert on channel 1, what we've done is we've routed channel 1 through a plug-in in the Waves rack and back out. It's running about 40% of the computer CPU right now. And with all 15 of these racks running right now, if we do another latency test here, you can see that we've got a 5.9 millisecond delay to run 15 different instances of plug-in racks, which is pretty amazing. The cool thing that we can do now we can run all of these Waves plugins on your Pro Series Midas consoles, anything from a Pro 1 up to an XL8, and no longer have to worry about, if you're running Multirack, if any of you have tried it before, it turning on and everything being in the red because of the old issue with the Lynx cards. That's now no longer an issue. It's gone. This is pretty amazing. It's a big step for the fact that Midas, along with their Generation 2 software, which has added some really cool effects and some good sounding stuff in it, now you have access to all of your favorite plugins directly through running Waves Multirack. You can run all of the plugins. We have a version of Waves Gold in here right now, and it's pretty amazing the stuff that you can do with it. On the Pro Series console, unfortunately, I don't have a mini display port to VGA adapter, which I was hoping to have. And this console's going out to tour tomorrow, so it's not going to be recorded later for you. Running a Pro Series console or an XL8, not the Pro 2 or the Pro 1, there's a KVM switch on the console which controls the second screen. And running the KVM switch, what we can do is we can take the video from this single rack space unit right here, and we can run directly into our console. And therefore everything you see going on the screen right here, we'll close this out, we'll go back into here. If you open this up to a full screen mode here, this screen right here will be the screen on your Pro 6 console right here. And this mouse and this keypad right here, this is all going to be functional on your plugin. So at that point, when you want to run your Waves plugin, say you want to grab, I don't know, say you want to grab the C4 off this one right here, you're going to have access to your C4 through your mouse and through your visuals on your console. So it's just like the plugins now are being internal right in the console. It's a pretty amazing thing. And now with the latency down with where it's at a safe number. There's another trick you can do. I know this video is getting a little long for what we normally do here, but there is you're asking about the 5.9 milliseconds. Anything under 6 or 8 is a safe number, but as soon as you double bus anything with latency, you'll notice you have phasing issues and it turns into a problem. One of the cool things in Multirack is you can set up a group with all of your plugins that will compensate for latency inside of that whole group. There's a little trick you can do based on that, and what you would do is I've got 15 plugins running in this rack right now. What you would do is you would insert another stereo plugin, and you would route every channel in your console through a group into that rack and back to the console. And what it'll do is it'll add that 5.9 millisecond latency to every other channel in real time, and basically you'll have a time-aligned console to your effects, and it'll eliminate any of that problem if you need to do double busing or stuff like that inside your console, and you're at a safe number. Again, at front of house, those numbers, if you're not double busing, are relatively insignificant. It's low enough to not be a problem. Monitors, when you get into in-ears, you start having latency issues that some people, it really freaks them out a little bit with their own vocals. But there is, again, the number is really, really low, especially for front of house you're here. And also, if you're going to run fewer plugins, once you get to a fewer plugin count, you can lower your buffer inside of the Waves rack, and you can get yourself to a point where your latency will be even a little bit less. But these numbers are acceptable for what's going on, and it's a relatively inexpensive way for you to now get everything here working. A simple all of your studio plugins in your console now. You've got a Waves rack, you've got a mini server, and you have a Lynx AES16E50 card. Between those and a Cat 5, you're in, and I'm really excited about this because I'm a huge advocate of the Midas consoles, and the growth that's been happening between Thunderbolt and between AES50 over the last, actually this year, I would say, the possibilities of where the Midas consoles are standing in the line, especially with the price points now with other brands, is really it's really impressive. So I'm going to stop now so I don't go on for weeks. There is one thing I will tell you. If you guys are interested in any of this Sonnet stuff or AES16E50 Lynx cards or Midas even for that matter, feel free to hit me up, Jim Roese, info@rpmdynamics.com. We're a dealer of all these things, and we offer support for it all if you go through there. So if you're looking to go the direction of any of this kind of stuff, hopefully we can help you out, and I'm glad that RPM Dynamics and that Sound Pro Live are the first people that can bring this to you before they're out to the public. Hopefully you enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed putting it together for you. Thanks.